Hello students, I welcome you all to the e-learning sessions of LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. Myself Hardik Shah, and today we will discuss about the subject of automobile engines. Fine. So today we have already started a new chapter on the testing and performance of the engines, right? And our today's topic in this video is different methods to find engine power, and thereafter we will also see MORSE test and Williams line method to finding the power. Okay, so I hope you will see this video till end to completely understand the topic and to gain your automobile skills. Fine. So let's start our video. You have already studied in previous video that you have to find indicated power, right? So what is indicated power? That is IP. Okay, and it is actually the power generating inside the cylinder, inside the engine. Okay, so for that what we need to cover, you have one formula, that is IP equal to LANK upon 60 into 1000. Okay, so what you need to find? You need to find pressure, you need to find the RPM, then you need to see what is the type of engine, 4-stroke and 2-stroke, and thereafter you can find the IP. So basically the more tedious work is in finding pressure, that is PMB, or you can say PMI, that is mean effective pressure, right? So we have to find mean effective pressure inside the engine. So for that there is one method, it is called indicator diagram. Okay, so what is indicator diagram? It is nothing but PV diagram. Okay, so we need to set the rotation or the reciprocation of the piston inside it, and we need to trace the position of it, and thereafter we will cover up what is the volume covered and what is the pressure generated, and thereafter we will get that mean effective pressure. Okay, so it is very tedious work practically, and it is not always possible to find practically pressure inside the engine every time. Fine. So without finding that pressure, without finding that PMI, we need to find that IP, and for that there is one method. It is called MORSE test. Okay, so in MORSE test what we are doing? We are actually finding the indicated power of the multi-cylinder engine without finding the pressure. Okay, so we will see it in some of the next minutes. Okay, so stay tuned and let's start to the first test, that is MORSE test. First we will start with MORSE test. Okay, so what is MORSE test? MORSE test is used to find indicated power of, or you can say frictional power of, each cylinder of the multi-cylinder engine. Okay, so here we have taken 4 cylinders. So this will be done without using indicator diagram. Okay, PV diagram. Okay, here you can see a brake dynamometer. So these are the 4 cylinders and this is brake dynamometer. Okay, so when all the cylinders are in operation, as you can see over here, so all the cylinders are in operation, right? So the brake power of the engine is measured by brake dynamometer. So we will use I1, I2, I3 and I4 as indicated power of cylinder, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we will use F1, F2, F3 and F4 as frictional power of all the cylinders. Okay, so brake power of the engine can be calculated as total indicated power minus total frictional power. For finding the total indicated power, we have to add all the indicated power of the all cylinders. Okay, so we can write it is I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4, that is the total indicated power, and total frictional power we can write at F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus F4. Okay, so we got brake power of the engine. Now you have to remember this formula because this formula will be used again. Okay, so here what we will be doing, in a cylinder 1 we will be cutting off its power. Okay, so it is or it does not develop any power. So how this will be done? For petrol engine, short circuiting of the block cylinder 1 will be done. Okay, and for diesel engine we will cut off the fuel supply inside the cylinder. Okay, so by doing that, what we will be doing, we will be cutting off cylinder number 1. When cylinder number 1 is cut off, and we can say I1, it is indicated power for the cylinder 1 is equal to 0, but friction loss of the cylinder remains same. So if the power of remaining cylinder will be B1, that is BP1, that the power and cylinder 1 is cut off and it will be equal to 0, because here I1 is 0 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4 minus the total frictional power, that is F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus F4. Okay, so here what we have done, we have cut off cylinder number 1 and found brake power of the remaining 3 cylinders. So next, what we have done, BP minus BP1. So as I told you, you have to remember the formula of BP. Okay, so here we have put that formula of BP, that is the BP formula, that is BP minus BP1. So what will happen, because of this subtraction here, it will be I1 minus I2 minus I3 minus I4 minus F1 minus F2 minus F3 minus F4. Okay, so after subtracting, what we will have? We will have I1. So we got the brake power minus brake power 1 is equal to I1. So we can say integrated power of the cylinder 1, that is I1, is equal to BP minus BP1. Okay, so here formula will be helpful. Now because we will find the integrated power of other cylinders also by using the same method. So now what we will do, we will be doing cutoff of the cylinder 2, 3, 4 and 1 by 1. Okay, so we will find the brake power of remaining 3 cylinders. So we can do in this way. Okay, we can cut off, for example, cylinder number 2, then we can find the brake power of the remaining 3 cylinders. Then we will cut off cylinder number 3. So we will find all the brake power of remaining 3 cylinders. Okay, then we will cut off cylinder number 4 and we will find the brake power of remaining 3 cylinders. Okay, so by doing that, what we are doing, we will have indicated power of the each cylinders, that is cylinder number 2, it will be I2, that is equal to BP minus BP2. Indicated power of the cylinder number 3, it will be I3, which is equal to BP minus BP3, and indicated power of the cylinder number 4, that is I4, is equal to BP minus BP4. So here we have found indicated power of the cylinder 1, cylinder number 2, cylinder number 3 and cylinder number 4. So total indicated power of the engine, as we know that IP is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4. Okay, and what we can do, we can now put that we will get brake power, that is brake power minus brake power 1, brake power minus brake power 2, thereafter BP3, BP4. Okay, because your indicated power, total indicated power, it is the summation of all the individual indicated power. Okay, so by doing that, we have done brake power over here. So we have done, because it is all positive and we have taken here, and whatever is negative we have taken on second side. Okay, that is brake power 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so here we have 4. So we can say that IP is that indicated power equal to 4 times brake power minus brake power 1, that is BP1 minus BP2 minus BP3 minus BP4. So here I can take minus sign. Okay, so minus sign, and that 4 is common. So you will get the formula of the IP, that is 4 times brake power minus all the summation of brake power 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so we will get all this IP, that is IP1 plus IP2 plus IP3 plus IP4, and thereafter we can also find the brake power, that is already given. So we can find the efficiency of the engine. Okay, so by cutting off each cylinder 1 by 1, we can get this formula and we can get the indicated power of whole engine. Okay, so we have calculated in this manner, and this is called MORSE test. Okay, so you can say that the total indicated power is I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4. That can be also converted into brake power formulas. Okay, like 4 times brake power minus brake power 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 4. And the same way frictional power can also be found in this manner, only by substituting the brake power into the frictional power. Okay, so what is happening? So frictional power, that is FP is equal to IP. Okay, so IP minus BP. So we can also calculate the frictional power also. So that was the first method, that is MORSE test. Now second method is Williams line method. So what is that? Williams line method is used to find the frictional power of the engine. Okay, in Williams line method, we will plot the graph of specific fuel consumption over the torque. So here we can say that we will extrapolate the graph, which is partially a straight line, to zero specific fuel consumption, and note down the torque, which gives us approximate value of frictional power. The figure you can see here. Okay, it will give you more clarity about the Williams line method. But this test is only conducted in a CI engine. Okay, so what is that and why it is applicable only to CI, or you can say diesel engine, not in petrol engine? Because for that you need to understand the governing system. Fine. So what is governing, or you can say what is qualitative governing? So in petrol engine we can keep air fuel at constant rate, okay, and vary the amount of mixture intake for required torque or power, okay. This is called quantitative governing, okay. So in diesel engine we draw a constant volume of air, or you can say compressed air, and vary the fuel injection, okay. So technically we alter the quality of the air fuel mixture. This is called qualitative governing, okay. We cannot apply Williams-Line method in SI engine. Why? Because at lower speed in SI engine, in lower speed, the air mixture intake is very low. That is quantitative governing, okay. Hence, there will be a low pressure region created inside the cylinder, due to which there will be pumping losses, okay. Therefore, there will be more frictional power than the real, or you can say actual one, okay. So we get bad output, you can say uneven output, if we use the Williams-Line method for the SI engine. So if we use the same test for CI engine, there is qualitative governing, not quantity governing, okay. And hence there will be a fixed amount of air entering the cylinder and no negative pressure and no pumping losses occurs, okay. So we get relatively closer value to the actual value of the frictional power, okay. So the errors are minimized in this CI engine, okay. So that's why we are using the indicated power, that is we are using the Williams-Line method in diesel engine, okay. So we have studied two methods today. I am repeating both of them one by one. The first one was MORSE test and second one was Williams-Line method. Fine. In MORSE test we are finding the IP of each cylinder by cutting off each cylinder one by one. Now what is the meaning of cut off? Cut off means we are actually switching off the single cylinder and we will continue all the cylinders at the same speed, okay. And this is actually done by connecting the dynamometer and we will find the IP, okay. So we are cutting off all the cylinders one by one, and thereafter we can get the power of each cylinder and we can find that what is the problem in any cylinder. So if you can say that there is one car, that is Maruti 800 car, and it is actually 4-cylinder car. Let's assume that it is 4-cylinder car, okay. So we can say that in each cylinder there will be 200 cc, okay. So we can get power of 200 cc in each cylinders. Now if there is any problem inside the engine, so we need to find in which cylinder the problem occurs, okay. So for that we can conduct this type of test and we can find the real problem of the in which cylinder it is happen, okay. So we need to check only IP of each cylinder. In any cylinder, if IP is less than the 200 cc achieved, so we can say that there is a problem inside that cylinder, okay. So for that we are using MORSE test. And what is Williams-Line method? We are only taking the readings of the torque and the specific fuel consumption, okay, and we are only plotting one graph, and by this graph we can say that when we extrapolate, or you can say when we extend this graph to the negative side, we will get one point on a torque side, okay, and that is our frictional power for that engine, okay. So that's it in today's session. In next session we will discuss more about the MORSE test and heat balance sheet. Fine. So I hope you have liked this video and you like this video. So please you can also subscribe this channel to get more videos like this, okay. So keep learning and thank you.